Hello and welcome. I'm Pooja Shali. This is a special telecast of an interview because with me is the cast and crew of Bahattar Hure. It's a film that is soon to be released and it deals with a very brave topic, and that is of terrorism and the layers to terrorism, not just in India but across the world as well. So I want to start with introducing the lead actor of Bahattar Hure, Pawan Malhotra, renowned with more than 40 years of career in television and films and theatre. A very recognizable face, of course, for all of us. Now, the face that you may not recognize but is behind this special film, Bahattar Hure, is Sanjay Puran Singh Chauhan. He's the director. He's a national award-winning film director. He's won it for this film, for his debut film, Lahore, as well. Another face that is a regular on news channels in the film circuit, co-producer of this film, Ashok Pandit, is also joining me in this interview. And Captain Gulab Singh Tawar is the producer of Bahattar Hure. So let's begin first with the director of this film, because when you hear of Bahattar Hure, you must have seen the trailer. It's a very gripping trailer, Sanjay, and abhi to humne trailer hi dekha hai because that's the first glimpse. But it's already become controversial. The censor board has decided not to release the trailer in the theatres, but it has got a massive review on digital platforms. I watched it. It's very gripping. It's very unlike the trailers you see. Very unlike a Bollywood film trailer with the superimposition of images, with the brave subject you have chosen. Is this about terrorism? Is this about suicide bombers? Is it about the psyche, the human psyche of a suicide bomber?
So, ma'am, कहीं पर ट्रेलर के साथ में इरादा भी यही था। चाहते भी हम यही थे कि जो फिल्म के अंदर है उसको इम्प्रेसिव तरीके से लोगों के सामने लेके आए। और ये फिल्म हालांकि बात तो टेररिज्म की करती है, आतंकवाद की करती है, लेकिन एक बहुत अलग तरीके से करती है। इसके ऊपर पहले भी इस सब्जेक्ट को एक्सप्लोर किया है सिनेमा के अंदर, लेकिन ये पर्सपेक्टिव बहुत यूनिक है जिससे इसको देखा है। और न सिर्फ इसकी कहानी बल्कि जिस अंदाज में इसको कहा गया है वो बाकी फिल्म से बेहद अलग है। इसीलिए एक कलर पैलेट्स हो, इमेजरी हो, उसका एक खास तरीके से नैरेटिव के अंदर इस्तेमाल किया है इस फिल्म को लेके। और हालांकि फिल्म सर्टिफाइड थी और हम इसको एक खास तरीके से चाहते थे अपनी फिल्म का, क्योंकि बड़ी स्क्रीन के लिए फिल्म बनाई थी, लोगों के बीच में आना। बट लास्ट मिनट के ऊपर जो सीबीएफसी के जो चीज़ें आई कि जो मॉडिफिकेशंस के लिए कि अगर आपको सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए तो ये सब चीज़ें, तो उससे हमारा प्लान डिरेल हो गया और फिर कोई ऑप्शन नहीं बची और हमको डिजिटल पर आना पड़ा। जो डिसअपॉइंटमेंट थी, मगर एट द सेम टाइम
लेट्स टेक दिस क्वेश्चन टू अशोक पंडित, बिकॉज बहत्तर हुरे नाम है और it deals with, of course, terrorism and how suicide bombers lead with, as the narrative says, a belief so fierce it defies logic. But of course, you see the narrative that is being pushed already, that, and I want to ask you that, is this film targeting a religion, a religious community? Is it about, when you say Bahattar Hure, is it specifically to something? Will it spread hate? Tell us, Ashok Pandit.
Pooja, you see, from last so many years we have been seeing that a narrative is being set by so-called intellectuals, so-called secularists, so-called, people, opinion makers of this country, whether they are in my industry, whether they are in media or anywhere else, thinkers, so-called thinkers, that anything when you talk something different, which is not as per their narrative, which they have said, their agenda, which is not said. So what they do normally is to target such films or target such work towards religion. They divert the entire seriousness of the film or entire seriousness of the creative towards religion so that it sounds frivolous. Now we have been saying this again and again. Sanjay has been saying, Gulab is saying, the entire unit has been saying, Pawan, all of us been saying at the top of our voice, that this film is fighting terrorism actually.
Yes.
And let me put it very straight. It is fighting terrorism. It is saying that terrorism is cancer to the entire world, to entire mankind, to entire humanity. So Sanjay, along with his team of creative people, has exposed terrorism and the effect of terrorism, the way the youths have been misguided and spoken lies that if you do this, if you blast, if you kill people, if you create chaos, massacre, you will get Jannat and you will find, angels there and you'll find all those kind of things there.
So basically how you're radicalized, manipulated, that is what the film talks about.
Yeah, and it's not that, we are talking as religion. On one side you say that terrorism has no religion. So when we are condemning terrorism, when we are fighting against terrorism, when we are making films against terrorism, how come religion comes in between?
That's a good point.
So people who are followers of Islam, who respect Islam, should come out in the open and respond to them instead of me responding to them. Why are you getting religion in between? Our religion doesn't teach us. So this contradiction, this hypocrisy of so-called intellectuals, so-called secularists of this country has to be exposed.
That's very interesting that this talks about how people are manipulated to carry out extremist activities, including that of suicide bombers. We have seen it in London, we have seen it in India and other countries as well. Now playing one of the lead characters is Pawan Malhotra, who needs no introduction. 40 years at least, Pawanji, of your career, starting from 84, 85, 86. Nukkad is what made him a face, but then remember, whether it was Black Friday, whether it was a romantic and a family film like Jab We Met, recently Tabbar, you've dealt with all topics fearlessly. Chahe wo 84 ke dango ki baat ho, chahe wo suicide bomber ki baat ho. But do you think in the past 40 years at least, you may have become more democratic to put out these stories, but in issues pe offense lene mein, everyone is very quick. Do you think you felt that? How did you think that I will go about it? क्या आपने second thought दिया जब आपके पास ये script आई कि मैं करूं या नहीं करूं?
नहीं, जब मुझे ये script सुनाई गई, तो same thing happened with Black Friday.
Yes.
And जैसे Sanjay approached me, I met him once before for his first film. We come on, whatever happened, we couldn't do it. I immediately said, I'll do this film, but my dates are this. And he said, I'll wait for you.
They waited for you.
They waited for me. And then we started, and then there was few hiccups, not from our side. There were some problems with that. Then we had to wait again. Then I waited at that time. But I was like, yeah, I would like to be part of this film.
Why did you think that?
Because अगर आप देखें तो मैंने तो सलीम लंगड़े पे मत रोकी, मैंने रोड टू संगम की, मैंने ब्लैक फ्राइडे की, मैंने चिल्ड्रन ऑफ वॉर की, इस तरह की फिल्मों से हम तो जुड़े रहे। और इससे ब्लैक फ्राइडे के टाइम में भी किसी ने बोला था क्यों करने जा रहे हो?
But you think it is important to put out this story?
There, of course, अगर सोशली रेलिवेंट फिल्म्स की बात होती है, जो बहुत सारे लोग जिनकी अशोक बात कर रहा है, जो हमेशा कहते हैं हम वी आर सोशली रेलिवेंट फिल्म हम दिखा रहे हैं या हम समाज के लिए सोचते हैं, तो वो बड़े जब सिलेक्टिव और चूजी हो जाते हैं तो यू कैन क्वेश्चन देम, यू नो। आई फील कि भाई जैसे अभी एक फिल्म, बहुत बढ़िया फिल्म मैंने देखी, एक ही आदमी काफी है।
करेक्ट, बहुत लोग बात कर रहे हैं। हाँ।
एक बंदा काफी है। आई हैव नो ऑब्जेक्शन, इनफैक्ट आई लव द फिल्म, यू नो। एनीथिंग रॉन्ग इफ यू पुट इट, और somebody can think that it's wrong, but I'm sure
let people decide.
Let people decide. And plus I'm sure this film, if it says that killing innocent people is not right, it won't give you any jannat, I'm sure nobody will object to that.
And maybe
For
someone
me, this
watching
line is important.
Did you think like of a social messaging that there are youngsters who are radicalized, they are manipulated, they are attempted to be brainwashed, and if you watch this film, perhaps there could be some youngster who will realize that,
see,
don't take this step.
Yeah, possible, but I always say, इससे पहले भी जो इस तरह की फिल्में की हैं, it's not that कि one film will change the whole society, but ऐसे तो फिर बच्चा चोरी, लोग चोरी डकैती कर रहे हैं, पर आप शुरू से बोलते हैं ना चोरी मत कीजिए, किसी को मारिए मत, किसी, तभी एक दुनिया में एक बड़ा हिस्सा अच्छे लोगों का, इसलिए दुनिया चल रही है। I'm not saying, but the fact that बाहर आके there's a question mark, you think about what the film is, you can debate on it, you can rattle your brains, whatever the subject is, that's very important. And one more thing I want to say, with all this happening about the story, the director has shot it, the film is narrated so well. Nobody's talking about the craft of the film. It's beautifully narrated, it's beautifully shot. So I hope people, those who are film lovers, please come and watch the film. Also, not only subject, it's the way subject has been told, the way the story unfolds.
So you are saying that it's a subject that has been told very differently, with a lot of craft and art in it.
It is.
And let public decide. I always believe it. It's important, Ashok ji, because it's the aap boliye, because what I was wanting to ask, I read somewhere you're set to screen this film in Jawaharlal Nehru University. And how is that coming around? How did you make that possible?
Well, Pooja, I'll just come to that. There's one very important point which we all filmmakers are very hurt, and we really feel very frustrated that I'm not bothered about what people outside my industry say. When serious filmmakers make film and we are branded as propaganda filmmakers, our films are labeled as propaganda films. We have been abused, we have been accused in major festivals, and they come out in the open and they run us down, they humiliate us. Now, this is what is dividing the industry, it's dividing the people, because we are facing the brunt, and that's why when these filmmakers, whom we have always respected, we have always loved their work, we have always fought for their in censor boards and all that, and they have started abusing us, probably, and I want to be very, very head-on into it, and I want to tell them in the face that is it that this narrative of Sanjay Puran Singh Chauhan, or of Vivek Agnihotri, or of Sudipto Sen, or of Vipul Shah, or of Madhur, is this set of filmmakers making them uncomfortable or restless? That the narrative which we are narrating now was suppressed, was not allowed to speak, was not allowed to be narrated. So this is a very important factor for filmmakers like us, who want to tell our stories, who want to narrate our stories, which has been put under the carpet. जब हम अपनी बात करते हैं, जब अपनी ट्रेजेडीज की बात कर रहे हैं, जब हमारे जेनोसाइड की बात कर रहे हैं, जब अपने एथनिक क्लीनिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, जब हम टेररिज्म के खिलाफ बात कर रहे हैं, आप खड़े होकर बोल रहे हैं कि ये प्रोपेगेंडा फिल्म है। बड़े-बड़े एक्टर्स हमारे इंडस्ट्री के हमको
गालियां दे रहे हैं। और ये तो सिर्फ आपकी बात भी नहीं है। दिस इज अबाउट इंडिया 26/11, पार्लियामेंट अटैक 2005, यूके, यूएस 9/11, सो दिस इज अ ग्लोबल इशू दैट
ऐसे तो आप गिन ही नहीं पाएंगे। और जहां तक सिनेमा की बात है, आर्टिकल 15 भी अप्रिशिएट दो, Ashram we appreciate.
So basically, are you
saying? So then those who are not with this, there is something wrong with them.
Are you saying हर स्टोरी के बारे में बात कर लो, इस स्टोरी को टच मत करना?
अगर ऐसा सोच रहे हैं तो भाई
आप एक तरफ से कहते हैं कि भैया टेररिज्म हैज नो रिलीजन, एंड जब हम टेररिज्म को एक्सपोज करने की कोशिश करते हैं, जिससे कि पूरी दुनिया जो है, पूरा देश दुनिया जो है वो आज आकार मचाया हुआ पूरे जमीनों पर, हम जब उसके अगेंस्ट फिल्म बनाते हैं तो हम हमको एक्यूज करते हैं कि हम रिलीजन के अगेंस्ट बात कर रहे हैं। यू आर क्रिएटिंग अनरेस्ट, you are misrepresenting a great work done by
misrepresenting films on this issue. Let's talk about the producer, Captain Gulab Singh Tawar. He's produced films earlier as well, but when you talk of a film like Bahattar Hure, and you can see immediately जिस तरह के response आते हैं, why did you think, Captain, that this is a film you want to back, finance and be behind?
See, Pooja, when I thought of getting into the industry as a producer, this was the first film which came across my path, and I saw it, I read the script, I spoken to Sanjay, and it was so impressive that it is the one story which has to be told, and this story should go to the people. And if you can, as rightly Ashokji said, as this kind of a thing, how the factory of terrorism is being organized and how it functions. If this can be told to the people and you can make the people aware of it, those who are affected, those who are the victims, and those who are becoming part of it, they also get killed in this process. So I thought this is the one thing which I have to do it. I took the challenge, I accepted, and we started working. But then there were a lot of challenges, and it started getting delayed for one or other reasons, and I don't know how and when it became a mission. So now it is not a movie for me, and for my team, I think it has become a mission.
And the difficulties that you're talking about is very important, sir, that, you know, why should a film face so much difficulty on an issue? And it's very important, the producer saying it's become not a movie for him, but a mission. But why do you say that?
It has become a mission because when we saw it, we finalized it, it was having a lot of that content which has to be told. But then when we started talking, right from that point, we started getting challenges, we started getting obstructions, and in that process, when we were facing the challenges, we were trying to get through the obstructions.
But you went ahead. You said, "Ye to karna hai."
Yeah, we did it.
Ashok ji, the film is being screened at the Jawaharlal Nehru University. It is, of course, known for, while of course, a certain liberty, freedom of speech, we also know the sort of issues they may actually have apprehensions about, and this story could be one of those. Why did you think it was important to screen at the JNU? How is that coming about? What was your plan behind it?
Pooja, we thought that it's very important for the film to be seen by youngsters, youths, especially in those institutions where institutions which are politically also very active and who have a kind of a narrative there, we find different kinds of thought processes which function there in that university, and they are educated people. It's a very university which really matters, and you have a lot of people in this country who are at better places. So it's an education, it shows the respect towards that institution. So it's not only JNU, we are trying to screen it at Jadavpur, we are trying to screen it in various universities to see to it that we come closer to the students' fraternity and ask them to, you know, react to the film. So the intentions are very very pious, and it's very serious that we want to enter into, especially those institutions, to be very honest, where we heard slogans which were against our country, which were against a system which created a kind of a hue and cry, and a very different kind of narrative was set. So we as makers, we as even politically active people, social activists who are also in the industry, we thought it's very important to touch that chord and have a debate and discuss on that, and condemn or to stand against those very people who have been setting a narrative which is against our nation.
ये जो है ना, उनको I feel उनके लिए थोड़ी बना रहे हैं. मैंने जो हाँ बोला है उनको, I've seen people. Why are you opposing this? No, when so many people are there, they're supposed to be intellectuals.
Herd mentality हो जाती है.
When so many people are against it, that's why I'm standing here. तो आपको पता नहीं आप क्यों हैं. या मैंने देखा बड़े कैमरे और ये सब, लेकिन होलोकॉस्ट नहीं हुआ. या 21 जून को कोई सपोजली जो लिख रहे हैं, जो बहुत वो माने जाते हैं, योगा नहीं होना चाहिए. क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए भाई?
ये एक जो नैरेटिव वॉर भी है कहीं ना कहीं. You know, when a director is making a film like that, आपके लिए craft है, character, and Pawan Malhotra's character in that also interacts with 2-3 men. One tries to manipulate and say to you कि आप ये कुछ करिए, आपके साथ किसी और से बात होती है. तो ये एक network जो आपने इसमें दिखाया है, if I'm correct, if watching the trailer, was that your plan to show how it is like a chain trail?
उसके लिए फिल्म देखनी पड़ेगी. Please come to theatre and watch.
फिल्म जो ये उस पहलू के बारे में बात कर रही है जिसके बारे में बहुत ज्यादा बात नहीं की गई है. किस तरीके से मैनिपुलेट किया जाता है, किस तरीके से एक थॉट जो है वो प्लांट किया जाता है जहन में और सुसाइड बॉम्बर्स तैयार किए जाते हैं. वो किसी और प्लेनेट से नहीं आते, ईटी नहीं है, वो हमारे आसपास से ही होते हैं और हमें पता नहीं चलता है. हमने इतना ज्यादा आतंकवाद को सहा है इस देश में, इसके ऊपर सबसे ज्यादा बात करने की जरूरत है. लेकिन इस फिल्म को डिस्कार्ड करके या बैन करने की बात करके या जिस तरीके से कहा जा रहा है, कहीं पर यह सोचने की जरूरत है कि हम टेररिज्म को तो सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि फिल्म टेररिज्म की बात कर रही है. हमारे किसी भी इंटरव्यू में, किसी भी विजुअल में कहीं पर हमने रिलीजन को लेकर कोई बात नहीं कही है, लेकिन लोग इसके अंदर से उसको ढूंढ के निकाल रहे हैं और जो सामने नजर आ रहा है इसके फेस पर, उसके बारे में कोई बात नहीं कर रहा है. टेररिज्म को लेकर सब खामोश हैं.
कि तो इसमें किस तरह से रिलीजन को या किसी कम्युनिटी को इस तरह से दिखाया, क्या ये है कि मिसयूज होता है कोई वर्ड या मिसयूज उसको बताया जाता है आगे मैनिपुलेशन के लिए? बिकॉज सवाल 72 हूरों पे आ रहा है, एंड ऑब्वियसली 72 हूरे हैज अ सर्टेन कॉन्टेक्स्ट. अगर आप 72 हूरे नहीं रखते, कोई और सिंपलिस्टिक टाइटल रख दे, तो शायद आपको लगता है फिल्म वुड हैव बीन बेटर रिसीव्ड. इतना कंट्रोवर्शियल टाइटल क्यों रखा आपने?
देखिए, जब हमने इसके बारे में रिसर्च की, और उसके लिए मतलब आपको बहुत ज्यादा डीप रिसर्च में जाने की जरूरत भी नहीं है. अब जरा सी कोशिश करिए और आप देखेंगे कि किस तरह से ब्रेन वॉश किया जाता है, कौन सी जन्नत प्रॉमिस की जाती है फिदायीन को. उन्हें क्या कहा जाता है 72 हूरों के बारे में, क्यों वो गाजी बनना चाहते हैं, क्यों वो अपने शरीर पर बॉम्ब बांध के अपने आप को खत्म कर देते हैं और न जाने कितनी और जिंदगियां अपने साथ ले जाते हैं. उनका जो सबसे बड़ा रीजन है उसके अंदर 72 हुड सबसे ऊपर है। ये एक कॉमन चीज है, हम सब जानते हैं इस बात को, लेकिन जब ये फिल्म में आता है तो हम लोग बात करने में डरने लगते हैं, झिझकने लगते हैं। यही रीजन है कि हम उन चीजों को जो गलत हैं और गलत तरीके से इस्तेमाल किया जाता है उनके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं।
और आश्रम क्यों नहीं कंट्रोवर्शियल है?
That's a very good point. That's,
वो
I
टाइटल
think
कितनी
that's
कंट्रोवर्शियल है।
हाँ।
तो भाई अब थोड़ा समझ भी दिखाइए और फिल्म देखिए, फिर उसके बाद बात कीजिए।
पवन
Come
जी
to
चलिए
theatre and watch the
क्लोजिंग कमेंट्स भी आप सबसे लेना शुरू करते हैं। ये काफी ब्रेव फिल्म है, रीजंस प्रोड्यूसर डायरेक्टर के क्राफ्ट पे या किस तरह उन्होंने सपोर्ट किया, पर जब एक एक्टर ऐसी फिल्म से जुड़ता है, इतना सेंसिटिव टॉपिक है, इतना रियल टॉपिक है, पर जब आपने इसको निभाने के लिए सोचा तो व्हाट वाज इंपॉर्टेंट दैट मेरे करियर में ये एक फिल्म मेरे लिए करना जरूरी है और उसको मैं इस तरह से निभाऊंगा, क्या आपके माइंड में उस वक्त चला? कि कहीं ना कहीं नैरेटिव वॉर में तो आ गई है ये बात।
पहली बात तो मैं कहूंगा ब्रेव क्यों कह रहे हो भाई? हम एक चीज जो होती आ रही है उसको सामने रखें, इसमें ब्रेव क्या? हम कौन सा कुछ, और हम तो आर्टिस्ट हैं, अपनी बात कहते हैं और तरह तरह की। मैंने तो आई बिन पार्ट ऑफ सोशली रेलिवेंट फिल्म्स, इवन बिहाइंड द कैमरा जब मैं प्रोडक्शन कर रहा था या एक्टिंग में भी करता है। हमारे पास बाउंड स्क्रिप्ट आई थी, हमें पता था हम क्या कर रहे हैं, यू नो किसका हिस्सा बन रहे हैं। ये भी बाउंड स्क्रिप्ट थी मेरे पास, और मुझे पढ़ के कहीं नहीं लगा कि कोई हम किसी को गलत कह रहे हैं। हम सिर्फ ये कह रहे हैं कि इनोसेंट लोगों को मार कर आपको कोई जन्नत नहीं मिलने वाली है। तो इसमें मैं जानना चाहता हूं किसी को कोई ऑब्जेक्शन है इसमें कहने में?
Amir Bashir is playing another character.
आमिर बशीर
is an
educated man, कश्मीर का है,
That's true.
मुस्लिम है।
Amir Bashir is also one of the lead characters in the trailer and who's done incredible films earlier as well.
उसके पास बाउंड स्क्रिप्ट थी।
And this is a socially relevant film and that's another actor's responsibility. Ashok ji, when we talk of like he's mentioning Ashram है या और भी बहुत relevant films अभी आई हैं, caste discrimination पे हो, violence पे हो, system के violence पे हो, they are seen as socially relevant films. While a film on Muslim fundamentalism or extremism that we have seen or jihadist activities is branded a certain way and is rubbished in a corner. क्या ये attempt है to change it, to maybe help people understand this is important, because people will be ready to watch this film and say this is, you know, one thing.
You see, Pooja, we together are fighting, apart from making film and apart from, you know, making an interesting film on terrorism. To be very honest, we are fighting those people who have an agenda, who have a narrative against the current system, and they are indirectly joining things and fighting against people like us. So they are interconnecting things with whatever, you know, political narrative which is not suiting them. So these films, people like us, makers like us, actors like Pawan, a lot of people, creative people, who have started making films which are challenging those narratives which have been set by those filmmakers, those producers who have been narrating a kind of a story from last 70 years. So today...
And public has shown so much love to a
So
lot
that's what
of
I'm
films
saying.
recently.
You are challenging, you are negating the intelligence of lakhs and lakhs of people who have gone and thronged to the theatre.
Eventually,
and
cinema-
collected the film.
आर्टिकल 15 से किसी ने प्रॉब्लम उठाई?
Correct,
नहीं उठाई।
correct.
We are appreciating that.
An Indian audience shouldn't be seen as someone as foolish. They are
Yeah,
intelligent
correct.
to know which
Absolutely.
film is good or bad. Captain Taman, your message for the public. Why should they watch this film? It's releasing on 7th July. Why should they go to the theatres?
Thank you again, Pooja. It's not a message, it's a request that, as I told earlier, we did lot of hard work, me and my entire team, and worked very, very hard, crossed all the obstacles, and we reached here where the film is ready to release in theatres on 7th of July. So my humble request is to come and give support and see the film and let us know what are your reaction on it.
Sanjay Puran Singh Chauhan, because this is your baby, you are the director. What is it about? Because I understand when there's a certain unneeded, unnecessary backlash comes, it can put a little bit of fear that I worked so hard on a film. Tell us to and via us to the viewer, why should they watch this film? That it's not that one side is trying to put it in a certain box. It is not that. Sanjay.
मैं यही कहना चाहता हूं कि जिस वजह से इसको विवादों में घसीटा जा रहा है या इसके बारे में बात की जा रही है, उन सब चीज़ों से परे आप आके इसके कंटेंट को, इसके मेरिट के ऊपर इसको जज करें। और हो सकता है कि आप मेरे नरेटिव से, मेरे फिल्म से डिसएग्री करें, मगर उसकी वजह होगी कि आपने वो देखा है। अभी आप बिना देखे उसके बारे में जो एक सर्टेन सेक्शन इस तरीके से फिल्म के लिए कह रहा है, मैं चाहता हूं कि आप पहले फिल्म देखिए कि कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि इन विवादों की वजह से कोई एक ज़रूरी बात जो हमारे को समाज में, हमारी सोसाइटी में हमें डिस्कस करनी चाहिए, वो कहीं पीछे छूट जाएगी। बहुत कम ऐसा होता है कि आपको वो मौके मिलते हैं जहां आप संजीदा चीज़ों पर बात करते हैं। ये एक वैसी ही फिल्म है, ये एक ऐसी चीज़ को जिसे आप चाहते हैं कि कारपेट के नीचे डाल दिया जाए। हम उसको लेके सामने आए हैं, आप उसको देखिए, उस पर बात करिए। मेरा काम एज एन आर्टिस्ट इसे सामने लेके आने का है, उसके आगे इस पर आगे चर्चा करना बाकी लोगों का काम।
See, audience reaction is important for any performing art or filmmakers. When we had a show in Goa Film Festival, after that the show got over and young Muslim boys and girls with hijab, they came to me and they said, we loved the film. So please watch it. 7th of July, come to theatre, watch it. You know, no film can make everybody happy, but I think I didn't feel anything when I read the script or when I performed that we are running down anyone.
I think it's actually sad that you have to even give that clarification. That shouldn't be needed. It's a film, and these are people who've been in the industry for several years, from Lahore to now, whether it's for Sanjay, from Nukkar to now, whether it's for Pawan Malhotra, for Ashok Pandit, for the producer. Decide for yourself. You are the public, you are the Janardhan, you will decide. And the film releases 72 Hoore on 7th July. Thank you so much for speaking to us, for interacting, for giving us your views. All the very best to the team.
Thank you, Pooja.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, everyone.